Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Dan Krueger from DK Fitness, where we help people achieve their fitness goals in a fun and maintainable way through customized nutrition coaching and meal planning. So we're going to be talking about the top 3 rules to incorporating a cheat meal, or cheating clean and staying lean. These rules are going to allow you to incorporate a cheat meal without completely falling off the wagon, but at the same time, these 3 rules are going to allow you to incorporate a cheat meal and actually leverage it to increase your benefits and increase your fat loss and to propel you into further progress going forward. Now, I'm not a big fan of the word cheat meals because what I like to encourage people to do is have a healthy relationship with food, where burgers and pizza and cake and cookies and that stuff isn't seen as bad necessarily. It's a part of our lifestyle and our culture that should be incorporated to some degree. But today I'm going to talk to you guys about how you can include cheat food in a structured weight loss program so that it can actually benefit you in your weight loss goals. Now you can actually leverage the bad food to achieve better weight loss results. So the first rule of thumb that I want to make sure everybody sticks to is to include some protein in the cheat meals. This shouldn't be just a carb explosion or a fat explosion. Don't just sit down with a jar of peanut butter and finish it all in one sitting, even though that sounds really delicious. We want to try to have our cheat meals be actual meals that provide some kind of value too. So today I got some pizza. With a client of mine, it would be a good idea to have a protein element to that too. Maybe some lean meat on the pizza, maybe some meat on the side. Don't just sit down and eat a massive pile of carbohydrates as your cheat meal for a few reasons. One, that's not really going to satisfy you, and it's going to lead to overeating. Just one nutrient by itself is never going to really make your body feel too satisfied. So if you sit down and just eat a bunch of fat, you're always going to feel like kind of unfulfilled. And same with just protein or just carbs. It's when you get a nice combination of protein, carbs, and fats where you actually feel satisfied after a cheat meal or even a healthy meal, and you can then just kind of step away and be done. So in the case of pizza, I'd say, get some chicken on it, or get some chicken on the side, or even like a turkey pepperoni or Canadian bacon, or get something in there, just a little bit of something. Other options would be to go out for a nice big fat steak and a baked potato. That would be a really good one. A burger is one of my favorites, and that's a nice mixture of proteins, fats, and carbs. Not a healthy option, but you still get all 3 macronutrients in there, so you can eat a burger and feel satisfied. Whereas if you sit down and just eat donuts, you can eat a lot of donuts and still feel like there's more room somehow, because you're pretty much just eating carbs and fats, and you're not getting that protein element satisfied. Also, from a muscular development perspective, getting all the carbohydrates in from a cheat meal is actually going to assist your body in nutrient uptake. So if your body is going to have an insulin response from the influx of carbohydrates, that insulin is going to shuttle nutrients into the cells. Now, if you can shuttle some protein in along with all those carbohydrates, that's a good thing. So leverage that insulin response and use it to get some good nutrients like protein in there along with all the carbohydrates. The next rule of thumb for incorporating cheat meals is to don't just go on a mindless binge in the fridge, okay? Don't walk over to the fridge and stand there and just start grabbing everything that looks good. Make yourself an actual meal, sit down and eat it slowly. This isn't something that should be seen as like a free-for-all where you have to just mindlessly grab all the calories you can and shove them in your face. Make an actual meal, take the time to either go to a restaurant and have a meal served to you, or whip up a meal, put it on a plate, sit down and eat it slowly. There shouldn't be a race to get calories in. It should just be a moment for you to enjoy some really good food and take a step back from trying to maintain clean eating all the time and try to stick to a strict caloric intake. So sit down, eat slowly, and chew your food thoroughly. I know it sounds silly, but I'm the type of person who just inhales things, and it takes a while for your body to actually realize that you're full. I want to say maybe like 10 minutes or so. So making yourself actually consume the food a little bit slower is going to give your body time to realize that, hey, you actually are full. And you're going to end up eating a much more reasonable amount that way. So take your time, enjoy it, don't get rushed to the finish line. So the third rule, and probably the most important one to remember when trying to incorporate cheat meals in an effective way, is to time your cheat meal with a workout, preferably around a resistance training workout. There's a few reasons, but the main one is that when you go through an intense workout, especially a weight training or resistance training workout, your body's going to effectively use a larger amount of nutrients efficiently. So replenishing your glycogen stores after a workout is something that's going to actually make good use of a big dose of carbohydrates from pizza or some pasta or something like that. In addition, that insulin response that all those carbohydrates are going to cause is going to be able to shuttle nutrients into your cells, like I mentioned before. So getting some protein along with the carbohydrates in post-workout is probably the most effective time to actually flood your body with that many calories. So this isn't going to be as big of a deal if you're doing like low intensity style cardio, if you're just going to go for a long walk. Like there's no real benefit to throwing in your cheat meal after your walk or before your walk or 5 hours later in the day. This is really something that matters more so with intense weight training or high intensity interval training where there's a recovery aspect associated with the workout. But from a psychological perspective, we also want to associate this type of eating, cheat meals, with something that you've earned from a workout, right? You don't want to have a cheat meal be a routine where you come home after work on Friday and sit on the couch and enjoy a cheat meal. We want it to be associated with a healthy lifestyle. So the cheat meal should be associated with a workout. It's when eating like this is associated in your mind with a sedentary lifestyle, that's when you can run into problems. We want to make sure that if you are going to do cheat meals, you're doing them because you're working out, because you're busting your butt, and because you've earned it, right? So it should be something of a reward that you associate with, go in and bust your butt at the workout, earn that big caloric influx. And that basically wraps it up. I'm a big proponent of using cheat meals for the metabolic benefits, for the nutrient uptake, and for the glycogen replenishment, and for the effects it has on leptin, which I've talked about in another video, which I'll link below. But psychologically, incorporating meals like this are going to make your diet, if you want to call it that, enjoyable. This is going to give you something to look forward to, maybe once a week. This is going to make it feel like you're not restricting yourself. This is going to make it feel like a sustainable lifestyle. And if you do a pretty big cheat meal and you go overboard, you're probably going to feel kind of junky afterwards. You're going to feel kind of bloated and crummy, and you're going to remind yourself why you got into this lifestyle in the first place. So that's always a nice little benefit too. When you wake up with a food hangover, you look at the scale, you're retaining a bunch of water, you're all fluffy, you're like, oh, that's right. That's why I stopped eating like this all the time, because you don't want to feel like that every day. So I hope this helps. I hope that you guys have a better idea of how to effectively incorporate cheat meals in your routine so that you don't feel guilty about them and you have a healthy relationship with food and there's a nice sustainable balance in your routine. Shoot a message to dkrueger@dkruegerfit.com if you want any more information specific to you and your goals, or cruisebydkruegerfit.com. Check out the other videos that we've got posted on topics like this, and sign up for our email list so that you don't miss out on any future posts. I'll see you guys soon.